The one thing about the internet is if you went, I would like to live a better life now, it's complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
It's 11 minutes of cold exposure, 23 minutes of hot exposure,
Yeah.
a sheet that's 16
Bit of breath
degrees in
work.
the morning, and it's oh man.
Yeah.
But there's 3 things. If you want to be happier,
Here we go.
eat a bit healthier. Everyone knows what that looks like.
Uh-huh.
Eat less rubbish stuff, more good stuff. Get a bit fitter and stronger as well. Stronger's the good one. Everyone knows what that looks like. And spend more time outside.
Yeah.
We can all do those 3 things. The best way to do those 3 things, choose a goal. Choose a physical challenge.
Yeah.
That's hard for you.
Yeah, a destination.
Whatever it is. If hard for you is at 5K, choose it. Tell your friends, become accountable, and then put steps in place to make that easy.
Virgin Radio.
Vass, it's over to you. Who's next?
Our next guest would be forgiven for being a little tired. He's cycled, run and swum the length of Britain. He's completed 105 Ironman triathlons in 105 days, and he's about to go on tour. Endurance begins in Leamington next month, and this morning, it's not my way or the highway, it's the Sean Conway.
Oh, very good, Vassos. Round of applause for Vassos' intro and Sean
Thank
himself.
you very much. Thank you.
How are you, Sean?
I'm amazing.
You are amazing.
I feel great.
How are you? I'm amazing.
Well, I'm doing a lot of running this month because of the 496.
Tell us about the 496 challenge.
Well, so there's 2 versions of it. Normally you run the day of the month in kilometres, 1, 2, 3, all the way to 31. But I'm doing the tombola version. So I've got 1 to 31 in a box, and I draw the number every morning. So not the night before, because I don't want to. I want to know. I sort of want this suspense. Really.
You have no idea whether you have to run for 3.5 hours or 3 minutes.
Well,
or...
exactly. Oh, I was gutted. So we had some epic snow in North Wales yesterday.
Yeah.
No, where are we? Day before. I thought, right, it was a Sunday. I had the day off. No school run, nothing like that. I thought, right, I'm going to do an epic trail run. This is going to be amazing. I drew 1. I was like,
no!
I got changed and everything.
You can run further, can't you? I mean, that's
of
not
course.
against the rules.
No, you can run, and all the low numbers. I ran a bit further, but
So did you
it doesn't
invent
count.
this then?
Well, I think it was called the Calendar Club or something, but I sort of put a name on it and a stamp on it and made it a thing that's accessible for people. Because also a lot of people used to do it in miles,
right?
Which that with work is quite tough. So I thought, right, let's
Absolutely.
do kilometres, open it up to a lot of people. And now hundreds of people all over the world. It's big in Australia. There's an app that have it built into their running program. So it's great.
Because we tried the 48 in 48. You know that one?
Yes,
it's 4 miles every hour for
every 4 hours for 48 hours.
Every 4 hours for 48 hours. Tash and I did that.
Yeah,
and that was who's that from?
David Goggins.
David Goggins,
yeah.
And so they do it on. I think it's They start it on a Friday night, finish on a Sunday night. We started on a Thursday night, finished on a Saturday night. But it's great, man. It's tough.
It is tough.
Sounds easy.
Yeah.
My
one's harder.
Yeah, your one's harder.
Yeah.
I love it. Competitive.
Yeah.
Even here on the radio, even in the friendliest of environments. Great. So the 496 challenge. Obviously, if you're late to the party, you can still join in, can't you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of course you can.
Anything that encourages people to go out there. You sort of, if you want to bank a few of the up today, we're on day, what are we, 6th? Seventh today.
Yeah.
Bank those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then
right now you haven't tomboled for today, so we'll do that at the end.
Okay.
So you've brought in the balls. Are they balls?
Yeah, they're little like tokens. There.
Oh, good for you. Where'd you get these from?
I 3D printed it at home. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
You're such a 3D printer guy.
Well, I don't know. My oldest, he's getting really like handsy and buildy, and he loves to make stuff. So I thought I better get ahead of the game a little bit so I can teach him sort of like inventing stuff and building stuff. So yeah,
you are a brilliant advert for what you do. You look so well. You always look. You even look great after the 105th of your 105 full Ironmans. So for people who don't know, people who just landed from another planet or listening to the show for the first time, just remind people what you did, why you did it, how you did it, how was it for you?
Yeah. So the 105 was actually part of the Grand Slam of endurance records. So there's 4 categories of endurance records. You can get a world's first, a world's longest or furthest, a world's fastest, and then the 4th one is the most of. And I had 3 of them. I was the first to swim the length of Britain, I had the world's longest continuous triathlon, and I was the fastest person to cycle across Europe unsupported. And so I just had that 4th one, which is the most. So I thought, right, let me do the most Ironman distance triathlons in a row, which is very difficult. As Vassal said, it was 15 hours a day. Getting up at 4:29 every single morning in the pool at 1 minute 25. Because if I was in the pool at 1 minute past 5, I'd lost the day. So it was all about just that routine, doing it every single day, trying to raise money for youth sport. Only 37% of kids do sport outside of school. I mean, it needs to be 100, but it needs to be double that at least. Raise loads of money for that. And also it was just to kind of get that fourth Grand Slam.
Well
you know?
done. I forgot about the other three. Did you?
No. Well, I hadn't because I've read all Sean's books and they're all ace. But I mean, this one takes the.
Was it the hardest?
Oh yeah, definitely.
By a long way?
Yes, because there's no averaging. You know, because there's in the multiple of records, you sort of get so you can run a marathon a day for a year, or you can average a marathon a day for a year.
Right.
They're actually two very different things, because the averaging one, you can do long days, short days, rest days, whereas this one's an actual. If I was 1 minute over the 17-hour cutoff on the Ironman, record over. If I got injured, record over. If I clocked over past the midnight, because you have to do it in a calendar day, record over. So there was sort of like you had to be on the ball.
Yeah.
And you have to follow. There's these 10.5 pillars of endurance, I call them. I'll just, sleep, muscle management, motivation, community, mindset, there's all these sort of things. And every single day I had to nail each of those 10.5. Because if I didn't, I'd just be game over. So that alone, and also it was just very painful.
Yeah. But logistically, there are more difficult things, aren't there, I suppose? Like, cycling around the world or through different territories, war-torn.
Yeah, totally.
I know a chap who ran the length of Africa.
Yeah, Russ, yeah.
No, not Russ, actually.
Oh,
another guy who lives
Dio.
near me.
Another guy. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
a South African guy, actually.
Oh, right.
He lives near me. He's a tech guy. He retired, and he did it last year.
Oh, amazing.
And he just did it the wrong year because somebody else did it quicker than he did.
Yeah.
But he was kidnapped, and he knew he didn't know he was going to get kidnapped, but he thought it might happen. So logistically a nightmare, but from a purely physical point of view, this was definitely the most difficult.
Yeah. So in the world of, I guess, adventure, you've got exploration on the one end, and then you've got sport and athleticism at the other end.
Yeah.
I've hovered around the middle to the sporty side, so I've gone for sort of adventurous records with a record to it. So cycling around the world, cycling across Europe. But the Ironmans was fully on the other end of physical.
Right, so you beat the Iron Cowboys record.
Yes.
So for people who don't know, who is the Iron Cowboy?
So James Lawrence, I want to say he sort of invented the game because before him, no one had done multiples consecutively. I think Rich Roll did 5 or 6 around Hawaii.
Yes.
Which was really impressive. When I was reading his book, I was really captivated by that. And at the time, everyone was like, "Whoa, this is incredible." James came along, the Iron Cowboy. He did 50 in 50 states.
Yeah.
Now that's incredible because, doing the
Logistically
traveling
again,
between each one. Then he went on to do the 101. And I remember when I was looking for the most of, straight away, it was like, I've got the Ironman. Like I know I can do it. Put it out there to the internet. And a lot of the internet disagreed with me because I've never done an actual Ironman, the actual race. I've never done one, still now. I've done a double, continuous, where it's twice each 3. But I just thought I could definitely get this.
Well, hang on. Just let's pause there for a second. That's so interesting. So you thought I can definitely do that, having never done one.
Yeah.
Discuss.
So, when I go into these things, you cannot have any room for doubt.
Right.
You've almost got to fake it till you make it in your own head. Because a few people, and they were close to me, friends. They're like, "Oh, Sean, if you get injured and the fulls aren't working, will you go to the half record? Because the half record's actually lower than the full." And I was like, no, there's no plan B.
Yeah.
And in my head, if you open the plan B, you might take it. And the other thing, which is a bit unpopular opinion, but it works for me, is I don't celebrate the small wins either. When I got to 21, I got the British record, didn't celebrate. When I got to 42, I got the record that's printed in the Guinness book.
Yes.
When I got to 62, I got the European record. I was like, nah.
So what?
It's it's all or nothing. It's sort of like...
But how did you know? My question is really, how did you know you could do 105? Fake it till you make it. I get that, but the fact you hadn't done one, what within your the knowledge, the certainty of your own physicality and your own tenacity and your own ability to endure, what gave you that kind of chutzpah?
I'm a monkey terrier. So I have 2 characters. I'm a monkey, and the monkey likes to break things and make things and break things just to fix them and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But the monkey gets frustrated unless he has something really difficult to chase.
Okay.
So the terrier has one job, just chase something. Right. So that's sort of the bit in my personality. Don't know where that comes from. That's just ingrained, I think. I think I've always had that, but never had a an avenue to channel
You
it.
look a bit like a terrier and you move like a monkey.
Yeah,
So
well,
it
exactly.
definitely
I've got those
works.
two things.
Yeah.
And then what made me believe the 105 was doable? I guess there's some experience. I had the world's longest triathlon record. I'm still the only person to have done a triathlon Land's End to John O'Groats. I've cycled around the world. I've run the length of Britain.
Right.
I've swum the length of
So
Britain.
you've got the source.
I've got the experience, which is one of those
Right.
10.5 pillars. I've got the knowledge now and the wisdom to know what injury is a lifelong injury, what pain is just a niggle.
What's worth it, what's not worth it.
Exactly. What fixes certain things.
Yeah.
I've got the community around me now, and that's one of the pillars as well. One of the most important ones, actually, community. Friends, family, coaches, things like that. And then just, you put all those jigsaw puzzles together, and for me, it makes a clear picture.
Yeah,
I'm
which is fair enough.
This is it. I can,
See, that's a great answer.
yeah,
I get that.
You put
now.
them all together, and then you get the belief, and then you work backwards. Like, right, well, I need to do 15 hours a day, which I thought was the minimum to get the recovery. It turns out I was sort of 14, which I was sort of 13 and a half, I think my fastest, but I was hovering around the 14. How do I get there? Right, I need to work on my pace. I need to work on my strength and conditioning. I need to work on my sleep, my recovery. And you put all those 10.5 pillars together and reverse engineer it, and then you try and hit your goals.
So you love the 10.5-ness of 10.5, don't you? Tell us about the 0.5 then.
Luck.
And that's important.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get unlucky. When I cycled around the world to go for that record, I got run over in America by someone on his phone. Record off,
Yeah.
months and months of training, sponsorship, everything.
There was a big car meet at Bicester planned for Sunday, but it was torrential rain, and somebody had been planning that for like 3-4 months.
exactly.
And you put it out there, and you go with the gods and see what happens.
Yep. So I mean, you can help your own luck sometimes, but sometimes you get unlucky. Sometimes you roll your ankle on that rock, but maybe you should.
Or gardening, or down the step the next day.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's all wonderful. We've got to talk about your tour. We've got loads of time, so we're all right. I just want to get your tour out there because I want to do this a couple of times. You're going on tour in February, and you've got 19 dates in 28 days. I mean, obviously, following on from 105 Ironmans, that's not going to be a problem for you, is it?
No, I'm so excited. For the last 10 or 12 years, I've done sort of the corporate speaking, Google, Microsoft going in there, motivating keynotes and all that sort of thing. And then I've done the educational sector, a lot of stuff with schools, trying to get kids just active, doing mini triathlons with them, like lying on their back, cycling with their legs in the air, that sort of thing. But this is my first ever stage tour, stage presence. I'm going to make it, there's an intermission even, which I love. I'm going to have all my props there, my bicycles from around the world and things like that. And just give people a good experience. And I sort of want to cover three things. I guess I want to inspire, educate, and entertain. Yeah. So it's going to be hopefully all those three things.
It will be, because you that comes with you anyway. And what's beautiful about you is everything, particularly for me, is you have a lightness about you. So you don't take yourself too seriously, but what you do is a really serious thing, and you can only do that seriously. But then when you talk about it now, there's a lightness to you, and you smile and you giggle, and that's really important, because you're going to inform, inspire, and entertain.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
But the entertainment thing is really important, because without that, nobody's going to listen. Well, they'll listen for a few minutes, but then they'll switch off. It's so wonderful. And that you do, and that's why I know that you're adhering to your true nature, because you are at ease with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if you want to go and see Sean, and why wouldn't you want to go and see Sean Conway? SeanConway.com. Tickets available now. Well, not for Leamington Spa. It's sold out. You need to go to Nottingham the next day. So it starts 1st of Feb, Saturday. That's Leamington Spa. That's sold out. Guildford's also sold out. Tickets still available for Nottingham, Worcester, Christchurch, Exeter, Cheltenham, Abingdon, Pontador. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Pontador. Is that in Wales?
I think so, yeah.
I hope so. Newtown, Buxton, Leeds, Banchory, Stirling, Penrith, Middlesbrough, Shrewsbury, Bristol and Radlett. Because you have to earn a living. That's the point, isn't it? You do all these things, but you also have to earn a living. And you've got to be careful how you go out there and monetize this, because you don't want to lose your authenticity. And that's quite a fine tightrope to walk.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I think I've played that quite well.
I think you've played it really
well.
well.
I live in a bungalow in North Wales with my Caroline and our two boys, and I love that simple life out in the countryside. Yeah. And then I go off and do the adventures and have amazing sponsors that I work with and have believed in me, and because a lot of people didn't. out. A lot of no emails in those early days when
Yeah.
I was trying to swim the length of Britain, and people say, "Oh, it's impossible. You're
Mate,
going to die."
you wouldn't have a story otherwise.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Elon Musk talks about... No, it's not Elon Musk, it's Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos says the hardest money he ever raised was the first $1 million. It took him 18 months and 301 meetings to raise his first $1 million. And I think he wanted $1 million for 20% of Amazon, which you would still own now if you had given him the $1 million back then. And he said the most common question he was asked during all those meetings were, what is the internet? So welcome to the club, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You got to meet the fools along the way.
Yeah, totally. But it works for me because I have to, as the terrier, just has to chase difficult things. And the more people that say no to me, I'm like, bring it on.
Yeah, of course. You want the no's, don't you?
Yeah, 100%.
Every no is just
Yeah.
a percentage of a future yes.
Absolutely.
And so, is the show sorted? Because it seems like you're sort of jiving on it already.
Yeah,
just talking to me.
I'm putting all the slides together, trying to get all the video footage from. I've got hard drives full of old footage from the swim and cycling around the world and all these sort of things. So yeah, I'm getting a real buzz out of it.
Have you done a show yet? Have you done like the comedians do? Have you done like a
I've
little?
done a couple. Yeah, I did a couple last year that I just put together myself, local to me. And they sort of sold out twice. So I sort of went on the back of that. I thought, oh, this is fun actually. I'm enjoying because it's a different type. What I'm really enjoying is making it more theatrical, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Because sometimes when you go to the schools, the kids are a bit nervous. They don't know what to expect and that sort of thing. Whereas this, I can really just let loose and
because everybody's there, they pay their money, they know what they're going to get,
and it's a big stage. There's a nice stage presence about it, and so yeah, I'm pulling out all the stops for it. I can't wait.
I think that what you'll do, and it's just a prediction, right? And by the way, I am mostly wrong because I don't care about coming up with an idea. I think that you'll drop a lot of the slides and things a couple of dates into the show because people just want you. They just want you, and that's it's like when you do a new radio show. You come up with all these features and these items, but actually, if you're any good, people just want as much of you talking about them or to them or things that concern them or instruct them or inform them or entertain as possible. And if you've got the screens going on as well, we just want you, man.
I know. Well, I'm laughing here because actually, I put together my first sort of trial run of all the slides.
Yeah.
So there's 45 minutes, a little intermission, and then 20 minutes. I had 180 slides.
Yeah, forget it.
One every 2 minutes. I'm like,
it.
Rein that back.
Oh, so you don't need the slides. Slide off, mate. Slide off.
Yeah.
What I would do if I was in charge is, Sean, get out there, have the slides in your back pocket so you know they're there. That will give you the freedom and the relaxation to just explode. Go ahead, explode. Give them a rest, also known as the interval, and come back and do a Q&A for the next 40 minutes because that's all people want. How does the corporate gigs go down? Give us a famous corporation. Did you say Google?
Yeah,
Google. Give us your experience at Google and their experience of you. How does that work?
Oh, it's incredible. So I go in with the sort of philosophy of trying to get companies to think a bit bigger. Deal with difficult circumstances.
So you want to get Google to think bigger?
Well, maybe not the whole company, but the people in the room.
I'm joking. It's funny because, of course, they still have to think bigger.
Yeah.
That's their job. Sorry, carry on.
No, it's great. And then I go in and I tell them the anecdotes and all the stuff I've done has mostly been a lot of, well, that's impossible, and I've proved them wrong, whoever them are, the metaphorical them. And as I say, there's some entertainment in there, there's a bit of education, and then practically pulling on those 10.5 pillars, trying to weave it in quite easily actually into the workplace, and also not only within the workplace, but also each individual in the company to do stuff outside of work.
Yeah.
Because I think that's so important, because if you read the internet, the one thing about the internet is if you went, I would like to live a better life now. Oh, it's complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
Oh, it's 11 minutes of cold exposure, 23 minutes of hot exposure, a sheet that's 16 degrees in the morning, and it's like, oh, man.
Yeah.
But there's three things. If you want to be happier...
Here we go.
Eat a bit healthier. Everyone knows what that looks like. Eat less rubbish stuff, more good stuff. Get a bit fitter and stronger as well. Stronger is a good one. Everyone knows what that looks like. And spend more time outside.
Yeah.
We can all do those three things. The best way to do those three things, choose a goal. Choose a physical challenge.
Yeah.
That's hard for you.
Yeah, a destination.
Whatever it is. If hard for you is at 5K, choose it. Tell your friends, become accountable, and then put steps in place to make that easy.
Yeah.
So, for example, in the winter, put your running kit on the radiator overnight.
So it's cozy.
When you wake up in the morning, you want to put it on.
Of course you do.
want to put it on, you're out the door.
Oh.
If you have a coffee machine with a timer, set the timer on. Although apparently you're not allowed to have caffeine 90 minutes after you wake. But anyway, another one of those life things. So just do those, become accountable, tell all your friends, get the Just Giving page.
Yeah.
I call them sort of dangling carrots. You've got to dangle the metaphorical carrots
So
in front
hard
of you.
enough to make you feel uncomfortable and like you've achieved something
There's gotta
outside
be
of your comfort zone, but not too hard to make it, to give
Exactly.
you an excuse to have an excuse.
Exactly, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, so there's got to be a degree of uncertainty.
Yeah.
So-
and uncertainty is fun as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If we all knew that, if my goal was to do a 5-hour marathon, let's say I drew 31 today, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to do that in 6 hours. It's not a goal. But if you say, Sean, try and do... So my fastest marathon is only 4.5 hours.
Right.
Yeah. I actually was running behind you in London Marathon 2019 the whole way.
We should run together, man.
Literally, I was in a big scout badge because I'm quite proud of it. I've just been named a UK Scout Ambassador. So I'm very proud of that,
Come on,
actually.
round of
Yeah,
applause, please, if you
thank
don't
you.
mind for that. That's amazing. Bring it up. That's cool.
No,
That is super cool.
I'm very proud of that, actually. I'm also a scout volunteer for my lads group, Manilisa, so it's great. But yeah, I was in this massive scout badge. So I couldn't really overtake anyone, but I kept, you were literally about 100 meters ahead of me for the whole time.
Yeah,
and it was great.
Well, I wasn't wearing anything other than the minimal amount of kit, and you still nearly beat me. Are you running again next year? Sorry, this year. This now, isn't
Where are we? April? I don't know. Yeah, I might do.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we are.
Oh, brilliant.
And we're going for 4:15 this year.
Oh, see, that would be a PB.
So do you
for me.
fancy it?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it?
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
If you're around, if you're
I'm
available.
around,
When will you know?
I'll just speak to Caroline and see what our diaries look like, and then
That would be
that would
so
be
cool.
That would be very
and
cool.
we're going for a sort of a group half 6 weeks before in Marlow if you want to come.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
very welcome.
Oh, that'd be great.
It'd be an honour,
Yeah.
absolute honour to have you there.
Well, I definitely. That's the terror in me. Is now I've just gone. Oh, you get a PB marathon, Sean.
And also, we'll have fun doing it. We'll definitely do it. We'll
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it. So I've gone 4:53 was my first one. Then I went 4:39, 4:42, and then I did some others. Done a few now. Did 1 over 5, no 2 over 5. One on a really hot London, and then first New York was over 5. And then this year we just said we're doing 4:30, and we just did it because we said we were going to do it,
yeah.
and we did it. And so we've said that works. Let's do it again 4:15 next year. And then when I'm 60, I'm going to do under 4, and I'm definitely
yes.
going to go under 4.
Absolutely.
No question about
Yep,
it.
there we go.
Because I'll just do it.
Yeah, you've told yourself, yeah.
It's the knowledge thing, isn't it? So with the audience, you get 10.5 pillars.
Yeah.
One thing you could do, look, there are 10.5 pillars here. We got all night. Are you happy to stay all night? Yeah, we're happy to stay all night. Okay, all I want to do is give you value for money. I'm here. I'm going to give you 100%. Will you give me 100% back? How are your ears tonight? Okay, are they good? All right, I got 10.5 pillars. Here's my 10.5 pillars. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 0.5 is the half. Actually, the half is the luck, and the luck could be the 10, and the other 10 could be the 0.5. It doesn't really matter. Which one do you want to hear about first? Yeah. And then get them to shout out, because then they're involved.
Exactly. That's a great idea.
And you might not get through the 10.5.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you don't have to. My question is, if you only could pick 3 from the 10.5, which 3 would you pick?
Community, big one, definitely.
Massive.
Community. Yeah.
Massive.
Mindset. So there was sort of mindset and motivation are together.
Oh God, I'm so excited for you. I am so excited for you.
Yeah, and then I guess the third one, I would go with recovery. I think, yeah. I think a lot of people neglect recovery, and within recovery, there's a bit of eating as well in there, but there's sleeping, there's stretching, which also goes into the muscle management thing. But but definitely community is the big one.
Yeah, because if you shuffle, jog, or run, every time you put your foot down, I was going to say your leading foot, but it shouldn't lead because it should fall under your shoulders, shouldn't it, and your hips, knees over toes and all that. Every time you put your foot down, you put 4 times your body weight down. And if you do that for a 10K, that's about 10,000 times per foot. And you have to recover from that because your body's not designed to do that, which is why you also have to improve your strength on your legs. It's not just the running. Your running legs are happy to run, but they need some help, and you need to be stronger.
Yeah, strength and conditioning.
Your
is
legs
one of the...
look like a cyclist's legs.
Well, I have, so that's one of the reasons I'm actually quite slow at running is because I'm quite good at cycling. So I sort of have quite chunky thighs, and I have to, sometimes I wear compression on the thighs because if you watch your thighs on a treadmill or running in slow motion, they really go from left
Swinging.
to right. Yeah, swinging, especially
thighs.
mine. Slapping, So, yeah, I wear compression sometimes just to keep them firing up and down and that sort of thing.
Which is really important.
But you've got to also be realistic on just how long that takes.
Yeah.
The strength and conditioning takes years, which is why all the ultra runners are in their 40s and 50s.
Well, let's talk to a proper ultra runner.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Yeah, how much weight training and stuff do you do now?
I'm starting to do a lot more now. Yeah, I did. I'm 43, so I've managed to wing it a little bit on the strength stuff. Whereas now a lot more. At the moment, it's just kettlebells and body weight and that sort of thing.
It's different horses for different courses, or different courses for different horses, but also different courses and different regimes for different times in your life. And you are now respecting the fact that you're entering you're midway through your 5th decade, and so you have different priorities from a physical point of view. How are you with that, Vassos?
I just love the weight training.
You've gone big on weights in the last 3 years?
Yeah, I would say so. It really. I go to the gym and I look forward to it. And while I'm, I don't know, let's say chest pressing something and it won't go up, I'm thinking, why do I look forward to this? Because this is really hard. But, you know, I give myself my minute's rest and then I go again and I really love it. And I'm never, because I'm spindly and tall with long arms and stuff, I'm never going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I don't care. I feel really good for it. I really enjoy it. There is now this thing called Hyrox, which is running plus weight training.
It's the new thing.
One of the best triathletes in the world has just quit triathlon to do Hyrox full time.
Yeah. It's
Hyrox is literally the Hyrox and roll.
But exactly. I mean, for people who love weight training and love running, it's like, oh, hello. It's like sort of hearing angels and, you know, brass bands playing when I heard about it. And the next one is at the XL in May, and I can't wait.
You're gonna go?
Of course I am. But you see, the thing, you know, I would say, probably knowing you, and I have known you for like 5-10 years, Sean, I would say at heart, you're a cyclist more than anything else.
It's probably the best. If I had to be the best at one thing, I think cycling would be it.
So did you find cycling across Europe the easiest of the four then?
Probably, except the difficulty on that was the sleep deprivation.
Right. So in the top 3 from the 10.5, you didn't mention sleep. Is that because you find sleep easy?
Well, that's in the recovery. So
right.
Because
I still have trouble sleeping. I mean, I'm mouth tape now. I'm more relaxed now. I have less anxiety now. But last night, you know, I just have trouble sleeping.
For me, for sleep, there's 2 things that you just need to benchmark. One is the time you wake up, and then the total time you need to have the best night's sleep. And you play around with that. So for me, wake up is sort of set because of school run and getting things. And then I vary the time I'm in bed.
That's funny because that's methodical.
Yeah. So for me, if I have one night of more than 8.5 hours, my next night will be rubbish.
Yeah, no, I get the maths,
Yeah.
and I get the schedule, and I get the organisation. But for me, it's be a better person.
Yeah.
Because if I'm a better person, I'm less anxious, and I'm more peaceful, and therefore I sleep better. So for me, it's I get the maths, and I'm in bed for 7:30 and 7:45, but I've just got to be a better person every day, and to shed some of those layers of whatever comes with whatever you've done and trying to be better. You know, 10% better, 1% better every day. And with that, for me, comes more relaxation. So, for example, over the Christmas holidays, I slept really well. Because I love this job, but it's mad. This is a mad job. To come on the radio for 3.5 hours every day and think you might be interesting every day, it's a ridiculous point of view. That's a ridiculous thing. You know, we're not presenting Match of the Day. We're not reading autocue and then analysing football matches. Vas and I are making stuff up every day that we think people might find interesting because we both have massive egos, which are much smaller than they used to be. So imagine, we think we're nightmares now. What we're like, do you know what I mean? And it's funny because when I'm not at work, I just sleep better because you don't come to this I love this madness. Wouldn't swap it for the world, but it is mad. Do you know what I mean?
How did you sleep when you were doing the 105? Because I've read the book, but you don't talk about sleep that much. You talk about the amount of time you sleep. You see, my thought would be every night, gosh, if I don't sleep well, I'm going to really struggle tomorrow. And then the whole house of cards might come tumbling down, which would definitely make me not sleep.
Yeah. So at the beginning, I definitely had that. So for my average sleeping heart rate during that first week was 89. Sleeping heart rate.
Is that good or bad?
That's really bad.
Right.
My normal sleeping heart rate now is 40, probably, maybe even late 30s when I'm a bit fitter.
Mine's probably 160.
But I just so much sort of cortisol and obviously my muscle breakdown, so my blood was trying to pump around to get the protein to fix it.
All wrong.
So it was all on that first week, and it's all stress and overwhelming, and you're like, oh, am I going to do it? I'm behind time, and the internet's correct. Maybe I can't do this. So all those things play on your mind. And then I made a really important decision on day 30-ish to get rid of daily physio in favour of an hour extra sleep.
Right.
which was very risky because the Iron Cowboy had, he said, 3 hours of physio every single day. And there's a lot of physio you definitely need to avoid long-term injury. But I thought, right, I still feel, in my experience, that an hour extra sleep is going to do better for me than an hour of physio.
Interesting.
And if it didn't work, I could always go back. And that was a game changer.
Reversible.
As soon as I did that, I was sleeping well. And actually, there were times where I'd just be gone.
So physio-wise, when you were opting for the physio option, what physio are you talking about? What does that look like?
Mostly release of tension. So
it's massaging, deep tissue massage,
tissue.
any acupuncture?
Once or twice, but I didn't need it. I would have had it. Weirdly hot.
Right.
Yeah. And
Hot.
a lot of the people who do the Deckers, which are the 10 in a row, also, so really, really hot bath with Epsom salts.
Right.
That did better for me than the ice.
It's funny, isn't it?
Because I was just getting hypothermic in the ice.
Right.
So the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet and the top half of your head
Yeah.
have blood vessels linked directly to your core.
Got it.
So as soon as I put my feet into the cold water, I would just go straight into hypothermia.
Right.
So I just binned off the cold and was like, right, that's it. I'm just gonna do the hot. And then that sort of was.
So many fans WhatsApping us. Lee says, ran with Sean in Hampshire. Such a nice, down-to-earth guy. Oh, I wouldn't go that far, would you? Great to hear him on the show this morning. James says, leaving for my run as soon as the show finishes. Thank you for the inspiration. Kirsty says, please will you say hello to Sean from all the first Minid ISA scout team. We are so proud of him.
That's my scout group. Yeah.
Oh, my God, your people.
Yeah, my people.
I could talk to you all morning, Sean. I could. I love having you on the show. I love being in your presence. You've also written a book, Sean Conway, Iron 105, swim 2.5 miles, cycle 112 miles, run 26.2 miles every single day for 105 days. Go on, give it a go. It's a world record. Can't work out if it's inspiring or madness, says Christian Blumenfeld, Ironman world champ. Now, he knows a thing or two about this. And there you are looking triumphant and wonderful, like a superhero on the front of your own book. In all three guises here, on the bike, at the end of a run and about to dive into another swim. And this book is available. You self-publish this?
Yeah, I always self-publish. I love the flexibility and the freedom. And
again, the spontaneity, the uncertainty of it.
And also, you can get when I finish writing it, it's on the shelves within a couple of weeks.
Right.
Whereas I got some offers from publishers.
Of course
and they're
you did.
like, oh, well, end of 2025. I was like, oh, the monkey in me.
Get
was
on
like,
with
no.
Yes, it's different horses for different courses, different courses for different horses. Love it, love it, love it. So I promised myself I was going to ask you this question on the way in today in the car. What were you like as a kid on sports day at school?
Yeah. Terrible.
Really?
Yeah, so I went to school in South Africa, which is, if it's not rugby, it's nothing. I was really short. I'm short now, but I only grew after school.
By the way, I don't get this in. Please don't be offended by this. You're always shorter than I think you're going to be,
Yeah, I know.
and I've met you a million
I know.
times. You came in again today. I thought he's so little again. He's still so little.
I know. I told my wife I was 5'8", but I think I'm less than that.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted again. I apologise. Carry on.
Yeah, no, I didn't feature it. So I did canoeing, sort of K1 and K2, which is the long, thin...
Kayaking? Okay, proper canoeing.
We call it canoeing, but I guess it's kayaking.
Kayaking, yeah.
I was rubbish at... I was in the 7th team rugby in my school.
So when did it change? What happened?
When I turned 30. I used to be a school portrait photographer. You remember school photo?
Of course,
I
yeah,
did that. My dream was to be a National Geographic photographer from when I was 10. Honestly, it was the biggest dream I ever had. Moved to London to be in the middle of the map. I'm Irish on paper, so it was easy for me to live here with family in Ireland and mum's side's English. I thought, right, well, this is the middle of the map. I can travel the world. And then just made poor decisions in my 20s. And instead of going off and trying to get those creative jobs, photographing for all the outdoor magazines, I chose the money jobs, and that was...
It's funny though, isn't it? Because you look back... Thank you, by the way. Yeah. It's funny that you look back, because Dr. Chatterjee had this conversation with me off the air yesterday, and you look back and you specify those, or categorise those decisions as poor decisions, right? But they weren't at the time.
No.
And without those quote-unquote poor decisions, you wouldn't be sitting here now.
100%.
So they were the right decisions.
No, they were fuel for the fire.
Yeah,
100%.
but it's funny, isn't it? And by the way, I'm not throwing stones. Yeah. I think the same. Oh, that was a bad... What'd you do that for, you idiot? But without any of that, you don't get where you are. Yeah. So were they poor decisions, or were they just decisions?
No, but the only thing is I did love photography.
Right.
I absolutely breathed it, dreamt it. And the falling out of love with the photography, that I feel sad about. I genuinely feel sad about that.
Is it too late?
No, and that's why I really enjoy video now. So I do scratch my creative itch and put stuff on YouTube and that sort of thing. So I do have that side.
Have you fallen out of love with it, or were you just on a break?
I definitely fell out of love. It's coming back slowly. I think last year I bought my first SLR again, and I tried for years. I'd gone into the shop, be like, right, I'm going to buy one. And then just
By the way, that's not a self-loading rifle, just so you know.
Yeah.
Self-loading.
Yeah, single-length reflex.
Single-length
reflex camera.
But maybe photography has never fallen out of love with you. Maybe it's just waiting for you. Somewhere.
No, I think there is a future version of me that goes off and films and photographs other people. I think that's definitely something I'd find interesting. So.
And that whole phrase when people say to you, you're running all the time now, and what they say is, you know what's coming next. What are you running away from?
Yeah, exactly.
And all you need to turn around. Well, first of all, don't even bother. But if you are going to turn around and you can't resist saying something back, you can just simply reply, well, what are you not running towards?
Yeah.
Because I'm running to go and find out what's there. Who's the future me that's going to high five the present me on the way past? The future me that's going to take on the baton that I'm currently running with. All that kind of stuff. There's nothing to not like about this journey.
Yeah, no, it's been brilliant. I've had the best time since I sold my photography business for £1 in 2000.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
For £1?
Yeah, my business partner bought it off me, and he's from Jersey, so he gave me a £1 note because they still have the £1 note in Jersey.
Brilliant.
And then I spent £4 on the frame for it.
Johnny in Cheshire, listen to the show, and wow, Sean Conway, what a guy. Awesome and so captivating. Love his free spirit and random adventures. Well, book a ticket to go and see him, because that's why he's here. And the bottom line is that's why he's here. SeanConway.com. He's on tour in the UK. Check out his website for dates. Go and see him. It's an investment. The return, the ROI on a night with him will be through the roof. Claire in Cirencester, so glad that my husband is abroad and can't listen to this. Don't need to give him more inspiration for ultras. I literally can't get my head around what you've done, Sean. My mind is officially blown. All right, look, this is all good. This is flotsam and jetsam, though, isn't it? We're only putting off the inevitable. What do we yet have to do, Vassos?
We have to tell Sean how many kilometres he's running today via his tombola.
All right, once again, for people who've just tuned in, I'm nothing if not I'll message about keeping people up to date. Why are we doing this, Sean? What are you a quarter of the way through?
So I'm doing the 496 tombola. There's 1 to 31 in a box. I draw out that number and I run that number in kilometres every day for the whole month of January.
All right, who would like to have the honour of picking out this particular chip? All right, so Sean Conway. Am I going to do it? Okay, sorry, I just realised it's me. I'm going to have the honour. I've given the honour to myself. Oh, please, that's change. All right. Okay, Sean Conway, I am now going to tell you that today...
Please make it low. Please
make
it low.
On day 7 of your January 2025 496 challenge, you are going to run...
Oh, no.
29 kilometres.
No!
Sean... You better start now.
Oh, right, see you, bye.
Sorry about that. Okay, let's hear Sean Conway. Listen, I'm not sure many people are listening between 9 and 10. Do you want me to dip again or?
No.
Not allowed.
I got to do it. I got to do it. No, that's the
29k.
Rules. Yeah.
Where are you going to run your 29k?
Oh, this is Caroline. If you're listening, you're going to have to do the school run and the swimming tonight.
Heavens made me do it. All right, Sean Conway, books out, tours on. Yeah, boom. Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great Tuesday. See you Wednesday, everyone. Bye.